We continue our Women's Month celebration by recognizing female pioneers in the digital space, breaking the bias and making innovations in cryptocurrency and the blockchain industry. We speak to one of them, Monica Long, General Manager of blockchain-based network Ripple. Good evening to you, Monica.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Good evening.
Monica, first of all, Filipinos still have a lot to learn about digital currencies, blockchain technology. Now we also have NFTs. So in a nutshell and briefly, can you tell us what these can do and how can it help Filipinos in our day-to-day activities?
Sure, yes. So think of digital assets as digital representations of all kinds of value. It could be money, it could be things like art or property or loyalty points. So
Hello, Monica, go ahead.
chains, they securely record digital asset transactions and ownership on the public blockchain. They're decentralized networks, so there's no one entity that's running or controlling them, much like how the internet runs. And as for how this can impact Filipinos' day-to-day lives, if you think of how fast, cheap, and easy the internet has made it for us to share information and communicate around the world, blockchains are doing just the same for value transfer and movement. So as an example, payments. Today, it's really slow, expensive, and stressful to send money across different countries. And at Ripple, as an example, we work with financial institutions like iRemit in the Philippines to use blockchain and a cryptocurrency called XRP to make it faster and cheaper for people to send money home to their families. So there's an example.
I first heard about Ripple, and you also mentioned about other cryptocurrencies. But looking at your website, like what you mentioned earlier in terms of payment, you said that you want to create a more inclusive financial system.
Audio.
Yes, can you hear me, Monica? Hello there. Can you hear me? Your website is saying.
I think the in the newsroom it's muted.
Monica, can you hear me
Hello.
now?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Sorry.
so you were talking about cryptocurrencies, and I was just saying that in your website, it says that you want to create a more inclusive financial system, especially for vulnerable populations. You mentioned about making payments easier. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, that's right. I think that there's a lot of power in this new technology with blockchain and cryptocurrency to make it faster, cheaper, easier, and just more transparent for people to use financial services. So we were just talking about how you can use blockchain. Ripple uses blockchain to lower the cost of remittances for people to send money home. And there's even more, exciting applications when we talk about NFTs and the ability to, make it more accessible for people to participate in real estate, as an example.
And also here, I've been reading about the education sector, the banking sector using the blockchain technology and about these NFTs. So can you tell us more about, especially NFTs, because we would hear people using this in art, in gaming. What are these?
Yes, NFTs have exploded on the scene. These are digital assets that represent something that's unique and the ownership of that unique thing. So you used some great examples like art. The NFTs sit on the blockchains that there's this public proof of ownership, who owns it. And what's so powerful about it, if we take art as the example, is that it enables new monetization opportunities, new revenue streams. So for the artist today, it's really just that, they can monetize the first time they sell a piece of art, but using these non-fungible tokens, they're able to program in royalties so that they can also monetize subsequent sales after that first sale. And so you mentioned some very popular use cases like art and collectibles, profile pictures, like Bored Apes and crypto punks have been the most popularized, but we're also seeing a huge rise in gaming for digital ownership of in-game assets and virtual goods. And we're seeing an expansion into enterprise categories like carbon markets, real estate, and even identity.
I mean, especially, for example, in art. Some people are probably asking, why would you spend millions of dollars on something you could just, screenshot or download? What benefit will they get from it?
Yeah, sure. So, what one could argue that some people look at these NFTs and they think they're so overvalued, but really it's providing the artists with, excuse me, a global audience and a global marketplace. So it's really helping the artist find the true market value for their art. And the key thing is ownership. So it's it's not just a JPEG, but rather the ability to digitally own that piece of art, and it's tracked on this public blockchain that's an immutable record. No one can change it. So it gives that person, in many cases, IP rights over that piece of art, and that's the benefit.
Mm-hmm. Monica, since it's also Women's Month and we have you here, I want to ask, more women are rising in the world of tech. How was it for you? And right now, are there still a lot of opportunities for women in IT?
Yes, I think, it continues. There's still definitely a gender gap in tech, and most certainly in the crypto and blockchain industry, which is at the intersection of finance and technology. So two very male dominated industries. Right now, I think there's about 15% representation of women at blockchain companies, and unfortunately only about 7% in leadership roles. So we have a long way to go to see more equal representation, but I'm seeing improvement because I've been in the space for about 8 years. And so I'm seeing more and more women enter. And I think the key is for education, for women to just, for example, there's a lot of different community groups like Women in Blockchain or She 256 that are helping educate women and develop their careers so that they can enter this Web3 space.
Thank you very much for your insights, Monica Long, Ripple General Manager.